the Southside Cyclones. It's been a dream season, but Victor, man, they're just looking for redemption from a year ago, and they're close to it.
Sometimes you have a nightmare and the devil shows his face. That certainly seems to be the case for the boys from Rockville Center. And again, the things that this team has had to put together and persevere in order to achieve this moment. We were talking about it earlier. It just so happens that some of the best lacrosse players in the country come out of Rockville Center and Massapequa, Long Island. The fact of the matter is that not all of those kids go to public school.
Now, Coney finally seemed to have gotten a clean win.
We got a flag.
And it'll be a flag against Victor. So even better, because if Melconian had scooped that clean, it wouldn't have happened on the stick check there from Oliver Cole. And now Southside will go a man up.
It's going to be important to start off the quarter with a face-off win to get a face-off win and a man-up opportunity. Again, this was a Victor team that came back 9-4 against Garden City last year in order to make it a one-goal game. Southside has less work to do than that in this situation. And to your point, you would think that Dan Stone would be prepared for such a situation, knowing that he's been in the reverse position before. Again, there have been a few players on the Southside offense who have been uncharacteristically quiet. If they were going to start making noise, this fourth quarter man up would be the time to do it.
And it was such a strong start for both Aiello and Owen West to this game. They haven't really been heard from in a quarter or two. So back up top to West. Nearly had that ridiculous shot from midfield. DiPietro thinking about it. The three seniors here have been so core to this 3-year run for Southside. On the field together for one more 12-minute stretch. They're hoping maybe they could extend that an extra 4 minutes. So West, DiPietro high on the shot. 20 seconds to go on the penalty against JT Ricky.
Good backup, decent shot selection. You could see that DiPietro put a little bit extra spin on that. He was going from sidearm to high because ultimately Parker Irwin has been seeing the ball so well. The only shot that you have getting past him from range is by changing levels. DiPietro tries it there but misses the mark, and that time he misses the ball completely.
It's a great call. DiPietro not able to scoop it, so coming back the other way is Oliver Cole. Penalty was not on him. And coming on, making it even strength, Brody Secker. Secker's just had a monster performance as a junior, a hat trick in this game. Their best overall athlete. He was called by his head coach a problem. He's electric. Sometimes gets too ambitious, makes Dan Stone's stomach a little upset, but always seems to find a way to Houdini his way out of trouble. He's been amazing today.
Future Binghamton Bearcat. Real prize coming up. Coach McEwen's way. So much good stuff coming out of this Victor offense, killing the penalty there, releasing from the box.
Yeah, Verdonia did this last time, got off a good shot. This time skips past Muscarella. Someone there for the Blue Devils. It's Herendine on the rebound. To Meade, loads up the shot. Oh, the save of the day by Muscarella.
Great job by Muscarella to see that through the screen, make a hand save. Great outlet here.
To Pat Mullen, not from Jack Lazito that time, and now Southside can settle in on offense with 10 minutes to go.
Costello touches the ball now. Costello had a big moment against Yorktown when he had a goal there. Just his second goal of the season. Not necessarily the typical culprit that you would see committing that crime, but again, a big moment for number 9, Costello's second goal of the year. 50% of Costello's goals on the season have been scored against arguably one of the best goalies in the country in Mezzatesta from Yorktown.
And on the field now with Sean Quirk as Coach DiPietro trying to get some fresh legs. Here you go, Quirk. Bouncer forced Irwin to his knees, but could not find the back of the net.
Not a bad shot by Quirk at all. That had a good bounce on it. Again, the ball changed speed off of the turf, and that's the way that Parker Irwin has been beaten today. Thinking back to Cullen Lynch's behind the back bounce shot goal. But it seems like if you shoot hard and straight on Irwin, he's going to see it and eat it up.
I was going to say far and few between. But Aiello could get a good look here. Inside roll and a finish. Michael Aiello not done yet. Southside down by 3.
And that's how the Skidmore commit has been cashing his paycheck all playoff season long. He loves the inside move. He loves the S-Dodge. He loves finding situations where his defenseman is overplaying him and overdraping him. Michael Aiello has good size and a good mind. He did a great job there once again to get underneath, and you could see that this is a big part of his game because when he makes these underneath moves, as he's going in on the approach of the shot, you see the way that he extends his arms around the goalie who's approaching him, so he's able to have those low finishes, and Melkonian comes up with another big face-off win, and you see, luckily, that did not go over the head of Cullen Lynch, how they fall back into their offense here. Lynch sees something.
Oh, and he sees a goal. Hat-trick for Cullen Lynch. All of them in the second half. All of them after apparently getting hurt. It just woke him up, and Southside's in this game.
The Southside staff loves Cullen Lynch. They think he has so much potential in every aspect of his game as a midfielder. In this half, he has been absolutely sensational. He's been that guy. This young man certainly has a big recruiting summer ahead of him, has some work to do in the classroom as well.
Has 54 more points than he did a year ago, 11 a season ago, 65 this year. Melkonian, before those last two faceoffs, Dave, he was under 50% for the game. He is stepping up, though, when it matters the most. These Southside Cyclones, they've been the comeback kids this entire playoff run, get themselves into trouble and find a way to dig themselves out of it on the 20th anniversary of that 2004 state championship team that Steve DiPietro was a coach, an assistant coach on, and now a group led by his son that he's been coaching up along with Tom Aiello, along with Michael Muscarella's dad, since they were just 4 years old. They're trying to do it again. West fires high, back up there in the form of Liam Livingston.
And you can see with each shot that Southside is taking now, they're trying to get Irwin to cross his hands. Because every time that Irwin has had to make a save stick side, even if it's been low, he has seen it all the way.
This is best on best. Aiello, likely to be a Division III legend, going up against Cam Ryan, a key part of Gary Gates' 2024 class at Syracuse. Missed this game a year ago with an injury. He stepped up big time. Give and go, DiPietro. Free for a second. Instead, extra pass. Touch shot. Dunked in. Livingston, Southside. What a run. They cut the lead to 1. It took less than 5 minutes.
Victor had a muzzle on DiPietro over the course of this game. And what a beautiful pass that was. Liam Livingston will get credit for the goal. Great off-ball cut by him to find some space off of the far wing. But it was the heads-up play by Cole DiPietro, truly reading the defense. You could see the way that he was surveying the field as he was receiving and looking to move the ball. That's how a coach's son plays. And just like that, Victor finds themselves in the reverse situation where they battled back against Garden City this year. They entered the fourth quarter with a 9-5 lead. They had control of the game, and Southside is right back in it. They've made it 9-8. Last year, fourth quarter, Garden City versus Victor for a Class B championship game. The score was 9-8. A little bit of a shake-up, different cast of characters, but we have a same situation and a really exciting 7 minutes and 50 seconds ahead of us.
I was going to say, it was a nightmare from a Nassau Class B opponent last year. Southside trying to recreate that in the reverse. 3 unanswered now for the Cyclones, but they've scored 4 of the last 5 of the last 6, in fact. It was 8-3 in that third quarter. It has been all Cyclones since, and it all starts with Michael Melkonian finding his stride at the face-off X, though his worst enemy, Eli Ricky, back out there. This feels like a defining face-off in this game.
It certainly has. These guys have been throwing punches like heavyweight fighters, and let's not forget that the last 2 face-offs that Eli Ricky won, he scored a goal on his own, and then the second one, it was a really good possession by Victor. You definitely feel as though this one is important with the way that these guys have been throwing howitzers at each other.
Melkonian clean win. Initially, Ricky still fighting. Melkonian trying to get the box out. And an infraction looks like it's going to be Southside ball.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely right. That was Jackson Mead released from the box. When Melkonian was going to get the ground ball, it seemed like he was going to get a clean possession. As you said, Mead released from the restraining line early, even though the referees didn't signify possession, and Southside gets the ball. That's what you call a freshman mistake.
There have been very few of them.
Very
For Jackson
few.
Meade,
Very
that
few.
one comes in a big moment. You know, the key is to be an 8th grader like Ricky, and then you don't have to worry about that. There's no such thing as a middle school mistake. West trying to get free, looking to tie this game up. Bounce shot. Simon Cole got a piece of it. Back up. Looked to be there for Southside. Let's see what the officials say. It looks like
They'll give it to Cole
DiPietro
Petrie.
got there
Absolutely.
first.
Great hustle play there by Cam Ryan, but ultimately DiPietro had the angle. There was no way that Cam Ryan was going to get possession, but nice diving attempt. You have to be careful when you do that because, again, on a quick restart, now you're out of position. Now you're on the turf, and it's a short man up for Southside if you don't get the ball back.
Screen to get Lynch free. He's been cooking all fourth quarter. They have not had a lot of success against the best defenders for the Blue Devils. Now trying to attack a tertiary option, but that time Langen up to the task, but not for long. Got it to Livingston. We're tied. 9 apiece. 4 in a row for the Cyclones.
Liam Livingston back-to-back, receiving passes from unbelievable angles. Cole DiPietro, Owen West, facilitating from the midfield. Liam Livingston, the transfer from Chaminade, one of the only members of this group that did deflect away from the public school system, but he came back, and he showed he's back with these last 2 goals.
Victor has to be tired of facing Nassau County competition. 4 straight goals for Southside. It took only 3 minutes and 21 seconds. And how about the extra efforts from Melconian? Now in a little bit of trouble. Will Steve DiPietro call for time? No, they'll pick up a flag. It'll be a man up for Southside, but first they'll try to score without the advantage. West loses the ball on the turf, and now the man up will commence.
And all of a sudden, everything is going wrong for Victor. Your goalie isn't making saves. You're not winning face-offs. When you win a face-off, they scrap and get it back. That was unbelievable. Just when they needed it, Ricky was able to really beat Melconian on the clamp. Melconian hustled back into the hole, kept the ground ball in a 50-50 circumstance, was able to pick it up. Right when I thought that Steve DiPietro was going to call timeout, Victor takes a slashing penalty. It looks like that will, or a cross-checking penalty. That'll be a big one. Tie game. Southside is man up. About 10 minutes ago, we probably wouldn't have thought that this was too, but we knew it would be possible. We just wouldn't be likely to expect it. But sometimes history repeats itself, even if you're on the other side of the equation.
They have to start putting the Cyclones on TNT. They know drama. 2nd straight game featuring a 5-goal comeback from the late 3rd quarter. Now an opportunity to take the lead will be the first of the game for the Cyclones. You know what they say, when there's a Melconian, there's a way. Halfway through the 4th. 30 seconds left on the man up. Aiello back to him. Cutting in DiPietro. This time Irwin gets the stop. Still alive. Now Irwin has it.
Good redemption save there by Irwin. And a decent shot by DiPietro. Irwin did have to cross his hands a little bit in order to make that low save. Not a terrible look at all. Cullen Lynch had an opportunity on the crease.
I was going to say maybe a terrible clear, but Owen West not able to come up with it. So it'll restart with Christian Besaw here. Back to even strength, Southside. They've done a lot of things well in this 3rd and 4th quarter. Taking advantage of man-ups has, for the most part, not been one of them. That was the 8th save of the day for Parker Irwin.
And a much-needed one after letting a few go. Went on a little bit of a slump there after he was seeing the ball so well and only giving up goals in tight. But slowly but surely, Lynch and Livingston chipping away at his confidence. And just when you thought that DiPietro was going to have another historic game-icing moment as he did versus Yorktown, Irwin rises to the occasion and makes a low save.
Yeah, to be fair, most of them on great shots. Big ground ball by Pat Mullen. Gets it to Lazito, and now the all-state running back can work it up the field. Instead, he'll give to Muscarella.
You have plenty of time here. Again, you don't want to turn the ball over. You don't want to give them a fast break in the other direction. This possession is so important. Great exchange there on the box. DiPietro coming in as they take off.
And now he's dodging the green space. Hands free. Shot in. Southside leads for the first time today. 5 unanswered for the Cyclones. The storybook ending might have its final chapter unless the Blue Devils can write an epilogue.
Cole DiPietro, the coach's son, was completely silent until the 3rd quarter. He got started a little bit slow, but an unbelievable skip pass assist to Michael Aiello. Had an opportunity to score the game-winning goal just before and gave Irwin a big energy redemption save. And again, this really is a coaching move, not just setting up his son for success, as you see the celebration start on the sideline. But again, it was the way that they got Aiello open. Will O'Toole came off.
And Southside has the ball. JT Rickey got the initial hit on the ball, but it was Jack Lazito, we mentioned his incredible speed, who got to it first.
Again, just want to go back to that play. You have to give a lot of credit to the coaching staff as Muscarella sparked that clear. They took O'Toole off of the field. Then they replaced him with DiPietro, who was wide open. Nice 50-yard clearing pass that got him space and room. DiPietro really iced the game against Yorktown when they pulled the goalie. And that allowed Southside to win the game by 2 when he was able to turn the corner and score in that open net. That seems like it was a deflection off of Victor, so
Cork.
Southside will keep it.
Cork trying to get it to Costello. Pass was knocked away. Going back even further is Patrick Mullen, who initially got that ground ball. Mullen has a chance to go down as maybe the most decorated athlete in the history of Southside sports. A Long Island championship in basketball, Long Island championship in football, and now potentially a state championship in lacrosse to join, of course, Long Island and Nassau County titles.
Southside still has 2 timeouts, but you're absolutely right. That last goal by the Cyclones was a complete team effort. Takeaway by Sullivan, heads-up play by O'Toole to spark the substitution. Cole DiPietro gets open. Great clearing pass by Muscarella, and Southside's up by 1.
Lynch trying to post up. Simon Cole took it away. Lynch fighting to stay on the ball. What an effort by Cole with some help. Cole now leading transition, and Victor should slow things up and get settled in here unless something opens right up.
Again, there's no 2-point goal here. You can't just take the lead back.
Tic-tac-toe passing. Herendeen and then Langen with clink skills in the middle of it. Second goal of the day for the LSM, and the Blue Devils belatedly find an answer.
It's incredible to think that this kid Langen was on JV last year. Second goal of the game. And even on top of that, not only is the second goal of the game, but that offensive opportunity, again, was sparked by transition from another defender. Simon Cole, the future member of the Syracuse Orange. Simon Cole, who's an early commit to St. Bonaventure, did an excellent job there. And again, Cam Ryan from Syracuse also has been doing a great job of carrying the ball. JT Workmeister hasn't had to do much. And Melkonian commits an infraction there, a really untimely one. 10-10, 2:45 left. What a game this has been.
Dave, you want me to blow your mind right now?
Please.
Langen coming into this game, 0 goals on the season.
Makes no sense. Wouldn't have believed it. Absolutely not. He's been firing the ball like he's been tickling the twine for years.
So now in the stick of Tanner Radonia. Last year, a comeback that fell short for Victor. Can they make Southside relive that nightmare? The Cyclones, unlike the Blue Devils a year ago, though, able to take the lead at 10-9. An answer from the underclassman LSM, Langen. And now, Victor, Dave, are you holding for the final shot here?
Not necessarily. You're going to take your opportunity when you see it. But again, you don't want to rush anything. The most important thing you don't want is, worst case scenario, you want to go into overtime. You do not want to give Southside another opportunity to score.
Yeah, Melkonian watching with bated breath, not wanting that face-off infraction to be part of the narrative of why Southside couldn't pull this off. Brody Secker one-on-one. Secker hunting for space. This is what he does. He's a problem. He'll leave the ball off after taking 2 defenders with him. Herendeen, the Cornell commit, scoreless on the day, trying to get his hands free against Mullen, who shut him down. Now the pass, now the shot, and the goal! Jackson Mead, a heroic freshman, and Victor back on top.
I was waiting to see if Victor was going to call the timeout as they approached the 90-second mark, and then right on the button, Jack Herendeen really has just simply needed to be a spot distributor today. There's been so much focus on him, and he's been moving around so well. It's opened things up and given him a lot of options. And Jackson Mead, the recent call-up from JV, wearing the jersey of Dennis Cole. What a moment for a guy who's only been playing at the varsity level since the last regular season game in which he scored 2 goals and 5 touches against the Class A state champion McQuaid Jesuit. Here comes Melkonian.
On the win, the quick shot. Irwin stopped it. Can Southside get there? It was rebounded by Aiello, but it went off his stick. Victor ball with 1:21 to go.
Oh, that's an unfortunate situation. Aiello had position there. Ball touched his stick before it went out.
Yeah, Aiello could just inches away from the ground ball. We talked about it's an all-time story with Southside coach's son, kids who've been playing together since they were 4 years old. Victor, they're still mad about missing graduation. They don't care about that narrative. They move the ball up the field and settle in here 60 seconds away from preserving an incredible 1-goal win. And now the Blue Devils timeout comes as Dan Stone saw his young freshman Jackson Meade in a lot of trouble. But Dave, this has been an iconic performance from, I can't even say the first-year player. I'm going to say the 8 games in player in his state championship debut.
So many contributors on this Victor team having played JV earlier this year or were contributors on last year's team, being a star on varsity and having played and earned a letter as a freshman and a sophomore, not necessarily something that's been as common since COVID. But Matty Langen, despite taking a year last year to develop on JV, considering how skilled he is, and for a guy that his head coach says still has to grow into his body, he plays with a lot of length, a lot of size, a lot of strength. 2 goals today, shockingly, literally shockingly, Gavin, his first 2 goals of the season with the way that he approaches the offense and shoots the ball. You would have figured that he would have had a lot more experience in the scoring department, but regardless, usually pretty rare to see a long pole score 2 goals in one game. Certainly rare to see 2 long poles score 2 goals in a championship game. And for this sophomore who wears number 16, 2 goals better late than never.
Let's flip this outside. What do you do here? 57 seconds left. Victor, obviously, in an all-out stall.
You could already see it. Muscarella's out of the cage. Net is empty. They're doubling the ball in Herendeen. You just have to force a turnover. You need it back as soon as possible by any means necessary.
Pat Mullen, a dog off his leash right now. He's ready to go. Herendeen dodging him. The Cornell commit, heartbroken a year ago, just has to hold on to the ball for another 45 seconds. Gets it out of his stick. Turning towards the cage is Secker. Now an extra pass. Shot put on. Blocked by the entirety of the Southside defense. Putting their bodies on the line. Victor still in control. Ground ball up for grabs. It's being fought for. Who's going to get it? Injured player down for the Blue Devils with 31 seconds left. Not sure who had possession.
They're going to give it to Southside.
Southside ball. And the clock stopped with 31 seconds to go. Cyclones have both timeouts. Player down for the Blue Devils, so they might stop it anyways. They will
Oliver
here.
Cole. Looks like Lazito is banged up as well.
Man, what an effort by Southside. You saw how many white jerseys diving to get in front of that ball. But would have been a wide open shot for Redonia. So Southside did ultimately use the timeout as the injured player, Cole, gets checked out for Victor.
This is the second time in this game where we've seen the player take the turf. Great to see Oliver get up there. It was great to see Lynch not only survive his injury, but bounce back with 3 goals right after it. That was an interesting situation where no possession was established. I was afraid that because Oliver Cole was the one who took the push, that somehow Victor would be awarded the ball back regardless. Great job by this officiating crew to make the right recognition. For the most part, over the course of this game, all the officials that we've seen today have done a really good job, which is super important at this point of the season. Long Island lacrosse officials, they all know the rules by now in the fire from the ice.
31 seconds to go here. Pierre Williams, Rob Carnival, Joe Smith, John Schroeder officiating this one. Dave, it's an interesting question here for Steve DiPietro. Obviously, the instinct is to go through Aiello, go through West. They've been relatively well contained in this game. Do you give the ball to Cullen Lynch here, or do you ride with your stars?
Well, first of all, you have to clear the ball.
That's a great point.
They're giving the ball to Aiello because he's had the strongest stick so far. So you have to get it over the 50, and then how you operate from there certainly is a question. You have to keep the ball moving. to see an isolation for Owen West certainly wouldn't be unprecedented.
A moment that Southside's waited 14 years for. Risky pass, and it's picked off. It's picked off by Langen. Ball still up for grabs. Who's going to get it? It'll be Southside with the clock stopped at 21 seconds to go.
And you see that Victor is doing a good job here of recovering, getting back in the hole, and matching up, because it is in these broken situations on a quick whistle where you could let an easy one go. 16 seconds left. Southside does have a timeout, and they'll use it.
They're going to use it.
The Cyclones call for time, wasted about 5 seconds there.
Pointless.
Let's see if they're going to put more time on.
They're going to add more time,
Yeah,
apparently.
Coach DiPietro is a smarter guy than that. He would have called it right away.
So he took it immediately. And that was a risky pass. Looked like Langen inches away from ending this game, and Southside just able to do it enough to make it a 50-50 ball, get it back, get the benefit of the whistle.
Yeah, Muscarella really tried to thread the needle on that clearing pass, and you saw Lazito, who was the target, really get collapsed on by like 3 different Victor defenders there. Cyclones are fortunate to still have possession.
14 seconds to go. Southside will take over a little bit past midfield. How are you immediately racing to the cage? How do you time this up with 14 seconds left?
You typically go to the goal or start the dodge at around when you're saving for a last shot at like 9 or 8 seconds. So either you have to start the ball in the stick of the guy that you want to go, or you have to make sure that that guy is one pass away. Not surprised to see Aiello pick it up. They have Owen West on the inside, so I think that they want to try to draw a slide to Aiello and have Owen West finish on the crease. We'll see how it plays out. 14 seconds left.
Cam Ryan wasn't on the field last year when Victor lost this game. He gets to tag Aiello here back from that torn ACL. Here we go. Aiello using the screen. Aiello trying to go at Cam Ryan. Just 9 seconds to go. He has to be a little bit more urgent. 6 on the clock. 5. Aiello spinning. Dodge fighting. Aiello going. Aiello diving. Aiello scores! Aiello scores! At the horn! Overtime at Hofstra. A miracle for Southside.
What else can you say about Michael Aiello? No matter what, he always finds a way to get his body in position, utilize that inside roll, and get a shot off on the move, on the dive. That time a little bit further away from the crease than we had seen earlier. But it seems like whenever Southside needs a big moment, the coach's son, his dad, the head coach at Cary High School, who Southside really threw a beatdown on earlier in the year. This faceoff will be academic as we go into overtime. But wow, the heroics of Michael Aiello, we've been seeing it for multiple weeks on end now. What a game this has been. Bonus lacrosse for the second game in a row. We weren't sure if Southside was going to be able to battle back and make the fourth quarter interesting when Victor retook the lead. We weren't sure if Southside was going to force overtime. The way that Michael Aiello was moving around the net, wasn't sure we were even going to see a shot get taken off. But man, did number 3 score, and score with authority. And what an exciting overtime period we have in front of us.
Dave, I got to catch my breath. I'm sure the people at home feel the same way. Michael Aiello with a second on the clock ties this game 11-11. We head to OT next. Southside down 8-3 in the latter portion of the third quarter. Utterly lifeless. A game removed from being down 7-2 in the third quarter. Utterly lifeless. First time they win in regulation. This time, better opponent. They force OT. And now the face-off of the season for Michael Melkonian. He has won 90% throughout the playoffs coming into this game. Today has struggled, takes this one cleanly. Melkonian racing in. Sudden victory situation. Melkonian was stripped, trying to go to goal. Laid down a late hit on Cam Ryan. Southside with the extra fight, able to earn possession.
Great job by Southside on the ride. Each team has one timeout. Again, Melkonian has been frustrated, has rebounded. He's excelled in this game. You could almost tell that number 22 really wants to take
Aiello sneaks in a pass, and there's the winner. The Cyclones pull it off in overtime. A 5-goal comeback for the first time in 20 seasons. Coach's son got it. Cole DiPietro. Heartbreak for Victor once again.
Victor was 0.8 seconds away from going home and enjoying this state championship. And 2 of the 3 usual suspects taking it away at just an inch grasps. Melkonian struggled, recovered, rebounded during multiple times in this game for multiple reasons. You wanted to see number 22 force the issue and try to get on the board. He did just that off the face-off win. They did a great job of getting possession back on an aggressive ride. And Cole DiPietro, who had been silent for 3 quarters, having a huge fourth quarter and a huge overtime moment to bring his state championship back to Southside for the first time in 20 years. The head coach's son bringing the community together after a rough 3-quarter start to have such a big moment for his town, his community, his family. And let's not forget that it was a few years ago that this young man was in a car accident and the continuation of his career was questionable, unable to continue playing football. Worked his way back onto the lacrosse field with the help of Tom Zumo from East Islip and Legacy Lacrosse. And what a special way to end your high school lacrosse career as a state champion in overtime under your dad as head coach with friends that you've had since you were 4 years old.
A 12-11 win. Stunning. This was a team that had nothing left in the tank. Just felt like Victor was controlling every aspect of this game. Most shockingly, at the face-off, ex-Melconian, a much-needed win. And then 2 of the guys who have been there for the whole ride, Aiello to DiPietro, Southside, somehow, some way, as they've done this entire playoff run, down 5-2 against the 2-time defending state champions, Manhasset Indians, down 7-2 against Yorktown, down 8-3, and then 9-5 against Victor. And then even still, down in the final seconds, multiple occasions where they looked like they threw it away. The game was over. Michael Aiello went to work, closed this thing out.